Anti in a great resumption of form this season. Fox wins the Austrian Grand Prix and he wins the Italian Grand Prix. A great race for him. Will come across the line here and win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Redemption day for the American driver. She wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Will beat Kubo unless Cado gets an amazing run, which he does. As he comes to the final winner for the very first time.
Hello and welcome. This is it. The jewel in the crown of the ultimate virtual calendar. The Monaco Grand Prix. The brand new layout, the brand new car class, a step into the unknown. Welcome to this qualifying session. Very exciting this is going to be. Lots and lots of things to look forward to in this race. It is the most prestigious race in Ultimate Virtual since it debuted in Season 2, where it was won by rookie Kubo. It had then been won by Jake Brad, Kubo again, Grandy, and then in Season 6, Suicide, taking Pappy Pop's first and only race victory until last week, where Pappy himself stepped up and delivered the W in Saudi Arabia. Right, let's take a look quickly at the team overview. So, some good upgrades going on this week. And yeah, should be absolutely fascinating to see 18 upgrades now for super fast racing. They are well on their way to a late stage car, but with no speed added to their repertoire just yet, making that quite interesting. Fox, the closest with 14 upgrades, still a little ways off, that is. And you can see in terms of the championship, it is currently the case that our championship leaders are Pappy Pops Racing, having been in last place just 24 races ago at the end of Season 4, seeing them get relegated back down to Challenger Virtual for Season 5. They have really delivered, and they've had such a great start to the season, capped off by that fantastic victory in Jeddah. So, we'll see if they can build on that. What else is there to look forward to? Of course, we'll take a look at the tokens. You can see them now pre-race in the tokens, cars, whatever channel. But yeah, big spends here today. So the elephants in the room, Jiruni with 4 tokens, looking to try and take that win, just as he was so close to doing back in Season 4. And then, of course, Suicide also looking at a potential victory, just as he did claim last time out. Jake looking at a win here with his 3 token spend. Another former winner in Grandy spending 2 tokens. Cado spending 3, and Todsod also spending 3. But yeah, Grandy spending 2, Corvid spending 2, Rito spending 2. He's gone very close to winning the Monaco Grand Prix, but in his incredibly prestigious career has never quite managed it. And then we also have Abva spending the 2 tokens. 10 seconds left in this qualifying session. Jiruni sits top of the timesheets at the moment. He is the fastest car on track as well. We'll see if he can hold this. Coming through the final corner, will he improve? No, but will anybody behind knock him off? Yes! Grandy will take provisional pole position, and that looks to be game, set and match for the Finnish driver. We'll take a look at the results now. Grandy on pole position. The race that he won back in Season 5, he'll start from pole in today. Suicide, another race winner from Season 6, starts 3rd. Jake Brad, another race winner from Season 3, starts 4th. Jiruni, never having won the Monaco Grand Prix, starts from 2nd. Corvid will start 5th ahead of Abva. Then it's Todsod, Rito, Cado and Shiloh. Juan will start 11th for Audi Sport Virtual ahead of Pappy. Then it's Anti ahead of Kraft. Pit Crew down in 15th place. Priya, and somehow I made it, Fox, Cado and Goose will start right at the very back. Yes, interesting to see that. We'll take a look at the tokens relative to it. So, we've got 4 tokens is for Pappy, who will start... 4 tokens for Suicide, I'm wrong. 4 tokens for Suicide, who will start in third, 4 tokens for Jaruni, who'll start in second. Only 2 tokens for Grandy, starting in pole position. Then it was 3 tokens for Caddo, starts down in 9th, will look to make up positions in the race. 3 tokens for Todd, who starts in 7th, and 3 tokens for Jake, who starts up in 4th. We've then got 2 tokens for Grandy, of course, on pole position, 2 tokens for Rito, down in 8th position, as well as 2 tokens for Corvid, starting up in 5th, and 2 tokens for Abva, starting in 6th position. Shiloh, the top of the non-token spenders. Then it's Juan in the Audi and Pappy in the Pappy Pops Racing, your podium of non-token spenders. Gosh, wow, that is quite something. Finally, we'll take a look at the standings so far in this season. Pappy is your championship leader, as mentioned, 6th place in Kyle Army, 1st place in Saudi Arabia. Grandy, with back-to-back 3rd place finishes, sits 2nd, just 4 points adrift of the championship leader. And Anti in 3rd place, he won the opening race of the season with the fastest lap as well. We'll see who can make up positions here. Jaruni in 5th place, might be looking to take his 2nd podium of the season, potentially his 1st win in the league since season 3. Additionally, Todsod could be looking for FVR's 1st win since season 3, that very same race. Jaruni for the team in yellow. Corvid looking to really get off the mark here. He's only scored 1 point so far this season, tokenless in Saudi Arabia. And Abva as well, looking to really kickstart that. 2 point scores in a row, but no big results just yet. And finally, we'll take a look at the Constructors' Championship. Happy Pops ahead by just 2 points of their Canadian counterparts. ThunderX in 3rd. All of these teams could really put some points on the board today. That'll be all, and we'll go straight now into the racing action for the Monaco Grand Prix. Here we go then, 50 laps ahead of these drivers. We are underway for the Monaco Grand Prix. Grandy and Jaruni both starting on the soft, Suicide on the medium as they go up the hill through Massenet, immediately looking to make a move here. Jake Brad in the background on the soft, Suicide around the outside there. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. He'll hold it. Jaruni just needs to hold it though from Jake. He's going to look to get back at Suicide here, but he can't manage it. Grandy dashes away out in the lead. Jero has fallen down to 3rd position. Abva just ahead of Jake. Corvid looking to make a move now on the Brit as he does manage that. He gets through on Abva as well. Jake getting through on Abva now. Caddo up to 7th position. Can he make more gains on the hards at the start? Yes, he can. He goes all the way up to 6th. Jaruni, Jake and Corvid all fighting it out here. Corvid gets a bad exit there, but sends it down the inside of the hairpin. Chaotic start here. Caddo immediately now makes that move. He's up into 5th position. Further up, Jaruni takes 2nd place off Suicide, but he's gone deep in the Nouvelle Chicane, as did Jake, and Caddo is up to 4th position now. He's made a real start through the grid. Corvid now dropped a couple places. He was in 4th. He's down into 6th spot. Caddo on the hards holding out there. Jaruni looking to get back past Suicide if he possibly can. He did very briefly on the entrance to the Nouvelle Chicane, but couldn't hold it. Grandy continues to lead this Monaco Grand Prix. Caddo holding down 4th. He's the top driver on the hard tyre. Abva in 9th is the next one. Corvid makes a nice, pretty easy move down the inside, but he does overcook it slightly. He goes in just too deep, gets too hot on the brakes, and that'll lose him not just the position to Caddo, but to Jake, to Todd, and now to Rito as well. A poor start, unfortunately, for their Australian driver. Sad to see that. Jaruni is now our race leader. Grandy was under pressure there from Suicide briefly. Caddo, though, looking to make a move on him, and Caddo on the hard compound of tyre is up to P2 at the start of this Monaco Grand Prix. He slightly forces Grandy to the wall, doesn't incur a penalty for his troubles. Jaruni, though, has hit the front. He went here in Season 2, a rookie for the FVR team. He did many seasons with that team before eventually facing the axe last season. He was the 59th ranked driver in all of the virtual leagues last season, having been cast down to Journeyman Virtual. He is back. He is with a championship winning team, and he is leading the Monaco Grand Prix. What a redemption story this would be for the Belarusian driver. Caddo now back under pressure. He got passed by Grandy, and now he's being passed by Jake as well. Down into 4th place, but him and the Velocity team will be very pleased with his start so far. Suicide in the background, closing in on the mediums. Caddo deploys a bit of boost and looks to try and get past Jake Brad if he can, going up the hill through Massenet and Beau Rivage to the Grand Hotel. Hairpin as we go through now. Just stays behind Grandy for the time being. Girouni looks to absolutely dash it out in the lead, just as Grandy did earlier on, but he makes a slight mistake and will slide into the wall on the exit of the chicane. Caddo immediately on the back of Grandy, putting the pressure on the hard, looking a really good tyre, at least in the hands or under the car of this Velocity driver. Although Jake, looking to make a move here, goes up the hill, gets a better exit out of Saint-Devote, though there will be side-by-side through this next section. Caddo can get the move done. He's later on the brakes. He's braver and does go back through. Fascinating to see. Can he put the pressure on Grandy now? Coming into the Nouvelle chicane. This can't go well with a dive bomb. It doesn't, but he does get a better exit there. Just keeps it close to the wall, through to back. Meanwhile, Suicide putting the pressure on Jake. Suicide was in second. He's fallen right back down the grid. Grandy on the soft, Jake on the soft. They're both into the pit lane. Girouni is into the pit lane. Caddo leads the Monaco Grand Prix. Suicide, it's a 1-2 for the Frenchman in the country that is a tiny little municipality bordering their great nation. The BFX boys are really up the field now. That is Kraft, who, if my eyes deceive me not, is not spending any tokens and is up in 3rd position. Maybe an indication of how much time cars lose under pit stops here, but what an incredible start for the BFX driver. He is absolutely trouncing it through the field. Corvid in 5th place at the moment, then Abba. Juan gets slightly bumped by Grandy to the ball on the exit of Raskas as they come up to Anthony Nogues. Grandy now through on Abba. He is a man possessed. Look at the speed he's able to carry here. He's got so much more grip than Corvid, has to back off to basically not hit him. The clouds are on their way. Grandy sends a late cheeky move into the hairpin. We're getting more moves met there. Juan really sliding around on his medium. Somehow made it, goes down the inside now as they get down to that corner. It's not Mirabeau, is it? Can't remember. Shiloh now on the back of Fox, and Todd will sneak his way through. He's just stopped for the hards. He's down in 16th place. Kada is down in last, meaning the entire field is in a velocity sandwich. Caddo nearly a lap ahead of his near namesake and teammate Girouni, 4 seconds behind still of the Frenchman, who will be into the pit lane this lap or in the next couple most certainly. He is in now with that 4-second cushion on Jeru intact for the time being. Jeru though does go through, and a lot of time you lose here with how much speed drivers can carry down these straights. But Caddo, I believe, will come out of the pit lane ahead of Grandy. Can he keep that with the low speed? Grandy careers straight into the back of him, but he won't be able to make that move, and Caddo has pulled a blinder of a strategy on the man who is leading by such a dominant margin in the early stages of the race. It is the Frenchman who has pulled the undercut and pulled into 2nd position. Caddo and Girouni 1st and 2nd. It brings a tear to the eye of those who like seeing those drivers succeed, just as they did in Singapore in season 5. Season 5. Yeah, and no, last season. Singapore last season, it was oh gosh, I can't even remember now. I think it was it must have been season 5, yeah, because Girouni and Caddo were working together on that occasion. I think Pappy was on that. I don't even remember, man. Girouni leads by a good 6 seconds. Grandy's early pace has really fallen off. This is what happens when you are only spinning 2 tokens. Our other 4 token spender, of course, we have Girouni out in the lead, but we also have Suicide now down in P6. He's just come in for the hard compound tyre. Anti is still out there on his hards. He's carrying great speed, but with little traction to meet it through the uphill section of this circuit. Ava, can he go all the way around the outside at the hairpin? Surely not. He gets the inside for the next couple corners, but Anti can actually hang it in there. Keep 7th place for the time being. Great racing from the Flying Finn, and Kraft now having stopped down into 10th position, no longer the lofty heights of P3. But still, interesting to see the mediums for Girouni, the mediums fresher for Caddo, and now some quite old softs for Grandy. A great start for him from pole, but he's fallen off a bit in race pace. Jake Brad in 4th at the moment, Rito in 5th. Suicide, our winner last season 6th place at the moment, and Abba down in 7th. Todd in 8th with his 3-token spend for the FVR team. They have not got it hooked up this weekend. The team Velocity cars, by the way, have a bit of a track record of coming through the field to win here. Kubo started P12 in Season 4, while Rito started P11. They ended up finishing 1 and 2, but Kubo making up 11 spots to win at Monaco just shows how incredibly good these cars are at racing each other. Grandy has really fallen off now. His tyres have worn out. He's been passed by Jake Brad. He was just behind Caddo as they came through that pit stop phase, but Caddo keeping that track position on him just on the pit exit. Grandy was never able to get that back. He's now into the pit lane for some fresher, soft compound tyres. Rito in 4th place now. Jake in 3rd. Caddo closing in on Giruni. We'll compare their lap times. In fact, we can show their fastest laps. Giruni's fastest lap is by far the fastest of the whole field, interestingly. Must have come when he was out there leading. But he's now into the pit lane, and Caddo will inherit, once again, the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. Jake also in. He'll get passed by Rito and Suicide and anybody else. Abba coming out of the final corner. He's holding up Grandy somewhat. Grandy might be able to make the move on the outside of Sandoval. Oh no, Abba deploys the boost, but gets held up by Jake, who then holds up Grandy in turn, but will be able to dive from him here. Can Abba have a go back at them? He does have the inside. No, he's got no grip there. Grandy has to just squidge into the inside there to not get taken out. Corvid as well. He's down in 8th position. He is spending tokens today for the, nearly call them Furiroja, for the Leadpool Racing team, and Abba's tyres have gone off now. Todd there in 9th. He is spending 3 tokens. There's a P8, sorry. But still, not quite good enough, really. Caddo leads by 3 seconds over Giruni. Then Rito is next, and then Suicide. Fascinating race that we have on our hands thus far. And we'll check that out. Suicide, yeah, 3rd place for him. He won dramatically with only 1 speed, I believe, last season in Monaco. So you don't, well, at least on that version of the track, you didn't need that much speed to be able to take great success at that track. Ah, yes, it was Season 5, anti-Giruni and Caddo was the podium that the drivers in 1 and 2 last shared in Ultimate Virtual. In fact, looking at their races so far this season, Caddo currently sitting down in about 14th. He did score points in the opening race in Kyalami, didn't manage them last time out, while Giruni took a podium in Kyalami, but also didn't manage points in Saudi Arabia. Caddo now out of the pit lane. He will be joined by his compatriot. It gives him a right fisting up the arse as they go. Not quite the turn of phrase I wanted to use. As they go through, as they go through Sandoval. Don't clip that. As they go through Sandoval, and Caddo once again, by just sitting on that racing line, has been able to block off whoever tries to get him. Jake through swimming pool 1 and 2, the piscine corners, has managed to piss in Suicide's dinner as he gets through there. Fantastic racing from the Briton. He is still really in the hunt for his first victory back in the sport after his sabbatical last season, and that would be quite something. Giruni now comes up to lap his teammate, who was just ahead of him on track about 15 laps ago when Kraft hadn't pitted and Giruni had. The Belarusian leads by 7 seconds. Caddo on the hards though, Giruni on more worn out mediums, so Caddo you'll expect to go a fair bit longer. Jake sits in 3rd, it's Grandy at 4th, it's Rito, and look at this, Corvid actually getting unlapped by his teammate. He'll be not held up by pit crew here, thankfully for him. But he's trying to catch Rito. He's got a good bit of traffic in the way, and they're not helping him out, are they? The ladies ahead of him, Priya and Shiloh, are lapped down. Not giving him much help at all. Suicide, having just come in, is in 7th place. Todd down in 8th. Really disappointing, because it's been a great start to the season for FVR. Todd took, I believe it was pole and P4 in Kyalami, and FVR find themselves sitting 2nd in the championship. They've not been that high in quite a while, but not going swimmingly for that team at the moment. Grandy, 7th place for him now as he comes out of the pit lane on those mediums. Todd 7 seconds back, he's on the softs. Kraft closing in on Abva. This would be quite embarrassing. The Fox team, who were champions just 2 seasons ago, they've really not performed so far this season. If you look at it, they're in 7th place. They've scored 14 points. Very disappointingly, they had, I believe it was, yes, round 2. They had Fox with 2 tokens, I think it was. Finished P7, not where you want to be. And I think they had Abva token as finished P9, which is a bit of a mixed bag in terms of trying to analyse the results for that car. Girouni, as he comes up the hill, Caddo coming through turn 1, 3 seconds back on his old friend. Jake sits in 3rd at the moment for the SFR team, who apparently are changing paint colour, paint scheme next week as we hit lap 25 of this 50-lap Grand Prix, 10 laps shorter than last season in an effort to make the Monaco Grand Prix a bit more special and less of an endurance event. But don't worry, it will still be well into the 27-minute range by this current timing. Girouni is into the pit lane. Caddo once again is into the lead. We haven't had any rain so far in this race, so really interesting to see if we'll get any. Girouni lingers on the apex of Sandevot, gets Jake to shove his front wing into his rear tyres, and then decides to deploy that little bit of boost just to get out into 2nd place. He's on his hards. Caddo is on obviously significantly more worn hards, but they are now on essentially a strategy offset where Caddo could still go a good few laps more on these tyres. Girouni obviously has this whole stint ahead of him. They are not trading undercut for overcut, blow for blow anymore, though this is properly where it's at. Will we hear the Belarusian national anthem? Will we hear Le Marseillaise? Will we hear God Save the King? All to be decided. And this is such an incredible race. Now we're at this new layout for Monaco. Our 2 race winners. Yeah, we've had the O Canada and the Finnish national anthem as well so far this season. We could even be hearing the Marseillaise for Suicide as he makes his way up into 3rd place now. But look at that, 13 seconds they are off the front 2. Girouni really catching now. We've not seen many changes in position between these two on the racetrack, largely in the pit stops. But we might just be seeing one here, barring some immediate rain bailing Caddo out. The driver who finished 4th in the World Championship last season took that win in the final race, gets held up by Goose there. Will Jeru be helped by his former team owner and teammate Goose? Yeah, he does let him through there. Caddo leads to lap 28, will he lead lap 29? He deploys a bit of turbo and that does get him away from Jeru, but he needs to be careful through these next couple of corners. You do need the grip, and he's just slightly struggling on that at the moment. Jeru really closes up through the hairpin. He knows he doesn't have to rush this. There's no pressure behind. The next car is 16 seconds down the road. Will he go for it into the Nouvelle Chicane? Yes, he will. He sends it, but has he gone too deep? He might have. Caddo to the outside at Tabac. Can he fight back into Pessin? He retakes the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. Incredible fighting between these 2 veterans of the sport. My God. Caddo looked to be pretty much one and done there with Girouni's overtake on it, but he really did fight back through to back, and he was able to keep that spot going. Girouni slow on the apex of the hairpin. Is he setting up another move into the Nouvelle Chicane? Will he be able to make that move? He's too far back at the moment. He tried to switch to the inside. He hits the wall. Caddo, though, slightly held up by pit crew. Can Girouni get him into Raskas? He'll send it to the inside. He won't get it done. He'll keep his nose in for Anthony Nogues. Can he power down the straight? Caddo to the outside, going into Sandevot once again. Retains the lead of this race. He is not letting this slip up, and something that we saw, something that we know drivers had difficulty with, as we saw in Kyalami. You can have all the pace in the world, but you need to be able to get that move done on the racetrack. Girouni once again up to the back of the Frenchman, who gets slightly stopped by his teammate there and will be hindered by that. Will he be stopped by him again? Yes, he will. He's into the pit lane now, so it doesn't matter too much. He's decided that is it. He's slowed down Jeru enough that he's now happy to go into the pit lane. He lost that track position in the end, but look at this. He can go into the pit lane and come out and be comfortably ahead of Jake Brad in 3rd. This is a 2-way fight for the win here in Monaco. Caddo will take the softs. Oh, but we've got rain coming soon. Could it have been any worse timing for the Frenchman? Girouni heads in. He'll take the inters. Caddo will be on the softs unless we get the announcement of dry weather coming immediately. He'll be into the pit lane this lap as well. 2 laps in a row. 8 seconds now behind Girouni. He's gone for the wet. Interesting call. And it will be full wet weather. That will now entirely depend on how much time Caddo will be able to make up on the wets. Hasn't anybody behind gone for the wets? Yes, Rito has. Jake, 2 seconds off Caddo, has gone for the inters. Those will be better probably a little bit at the moment. Caddo, though, threading his way through the traffic quite nicely, in fairness. But it's losing that little bit of time on Jeru, who has a very clear track ahead of him until he catches this pack ahead, which he will do quite rapidly. Will he? Yes, he's extended that now to 10 seconds is his lead. As he comes at Samoa made it, but he will get traffic now and heavier rain. We'll have to see. If this rain persists, then this could be a strategic masterclass by the Frenchman. We'll go down the rest of the field to take a look as we take a look at the tokens as well. Girouni leads with 4 tokens, Caddo second, 3 tokens, Jake Brad third, also with 3 tokens, Rito in 4th, spending just 2 tokens, a pretty good result for him this would be. Corvid in 5th, spending 2 tokens, Suicide in 6th, as he slides through that corner, spending 4 tokens. A damning indictment of the Pappy Pops car, despite the fact they are the championship leaders. 7th place currently for Grandy, who's spending 2 tokens, lapped by Girouni at the moment, and Caddo has made up 4 seconds. Golly, Jerry must have been slow through the traffic there. That gap was 10 seconds. It's going back up that way, but yeah, so Grandy with two tokens, starting on pole, is now all the way down in 7th position. Todd Sod having a disaster class of a race. He's in 8th place with 3 tokens. Kraft tokenless in 9th, and Abva a decent chunk behind him now, also spending 2 tokens, and he's in 10th position. Great for BFX, first with 4 tokens and 9th tokenless. But they do need to hold on to that lead. We'll take a look also quickly at the teams. The points per race you can see, points per token. SFR have done very well for theirs. ThunderX have been pretty good. FVR have been pretty good. Pappy Pops have been pretty good. Velocity have really struggled with that so far, and so have Fox actually. They'll need to be getting that up, but a haul of 18 points as it stands for the 3 tokens they're spending in this race would very much help out. Actually, that would be a good thing to add to their points tally. He did close that gap down, did Caddo. It's now extended a little bit. I think his, barring some sort of late weather circumstances, I mean, it's always swings and roundabouts. Sort of Innsbruck, Season 6, Hungary, Season 1, these are races where drivers have had sort of 15 seconds worth of race lead and bottled that. But it's difficult to see Girouni here really failing to make this count, because he has got such a gap. He's not taken victory in this league since Season 3, and BFX haven't taken victory in this league since Season 4? Really? No, maybe last season? But they don't have one this season. Gonna check that. He's got an 8-second advantage at the moment. These cars will be into the pit lane relatively soon. And look at the Constructors' Championship. Last season, yes, sorry, they did take a race win last season. Where was that? It was at the behest of none other than, of course, Mark Andrews won the Singapore Grand Prix. How can I forget that? Yeah, so they haven't taken a victory since last season. Okay. The penultimate round of last season. Caddo, again, gaining little bits and pieces here, but he should be slower at the moment. He is actually flying, in fairness to him. 4 seconds is that gap. The hairpin does slightly screw with the time screens a bit, because you can see that gap will go down to 4 and then back up to sort of 6. Yeah. But he has made time on Jero through this wet weather period. It was originally about 10 seconds, that gap, and it has shrunk most certainly. Caddo will be in this lap. Jero will extend it 1 further, so he could get a mighty undercut here. Jake will be in. Rito will go in. Suicide will go in. Corvid has come in, taken the soft compound tyres. Grandy taking the soft as well. Todd is now into the pit lane. Girouni just making his way. Let's see how he does with this final sector. He's slow. He is slow. But I think he'll still come out with about a 4-second cushion. Sliding through there. Yeah, he's now safe. Home and dry into the pit lane. Caddo will need to absolutely welly it on this outlap to get anywhere near him. And he's banked into the wall there. Girouni coming out of the pit lane now. Gosh, he is still quite far clear. 7 seconds is that gap. It would take something to see him lose this race, but something has happened before. Watch the final few laps of Monaco Season 2. Incredible poor luck with the rain, incredible strategy, incredible drama. Spuda and Girouni respectively foiled in their efforts, in Kubo, the man in his third race, coming through to take victory for that Team Velocity team that so desperately lusts for victory in this race. 6 seconds is that gap. We'll take a quick recap of the rest of the field. Jake Brad sits in third place at the moment. Rito in fourth. He's had a really good race actually. That's 2 tokens for that as well. Corvid in fifth, running pretty decently. Granny would have liked to have been a bit higher than sixth. He's got Suicide right behind him, putting a bit of pressure on, who would definitely like to be higher than seventh for those 4 tokens spent. That has or will absolutely tank their points per token ratio. Todsod similarly with FVR, the top 2 teams in the Constructors' Championship, having really poor outings here today, but that is unfortunately one of the many quirks of Monaco. Caddo now starting to come under a bit of pressure from Jake, who is on the hards. He might be looking to take second place in what we thought was a 2-horse race at some point, but obviously the rain has cast the die in the favour of the man out in the race lead. Suicide sits in 7th, Todd in 8th, Abver in 9th. He has gotten back past Kraft, but he's still having a respectable race in 10th. Ooh la la, ooh la la. Caddo's in instantly. What if this is a fake rain? Oh, it's so difficult. I think he might lose time here anyways, because it's only light rain. I would like to be in Jared's position very much here, because he's got such a cushion. And Caddo's going to find this section really difficult as the track isn't wet yet. He has somewhat managed to shed Jake, but Jeru's into the pit lane, and that was the right lap for him to come in. Sun's coming back. It could have been an even bigger win for Jeru had he stayed out. It could have been potential redemption for Caddo had he stayed out. As it is, that gap is thoroughly about 8 seconds, as it was before. This has slightly allowed Caddo to drop Jake out of the equation. We'll see. Rito, Corvid, Suicide now back ahead of Grandy. Grandy will need to close in here. Kraft on the wets, he's back into the pit lane. And in for soft compound tyres. This could be a big undercut actually if he wants to try and grab that final point scoring position. Suicide and Grandy now in. Girouni is in from the race lead off his inters. We're back into dry conditions. Nobody going for an alternate strategy really. Well, not enough. And that means that Girouni has been able to keep that cushion as he goes through the middle sector of the lap now. 7.8 seconds for the Belarusian. They have thrown a fair amount at him today. Caddo is under pressure from the blue car behind, the gold, blue and white of the super fast racing team. Unofficially the Maserati team. They do have a Maserati logo on their car, but they insist that's nothing to do with the real life brand. Rito still of Corvid ahead of Suicide, Grandy, then Todd, Kraft and Abver, and Kraft did get that undercut. He's up into 9th place now. Girouni making his way through the traffic, surely, unless there's some huge drama with late rain called right now. This will be a convincing victory for him, just as he failed to do back in Season 2 for FVR, something that has haunted him many, many seasons. His last win came at Interlagos 3 seasons and a couple races ago. What a win that was, what a day that was. That kept his FVR seat, but not for much longer. He did get fired by them at the end of Season 5. No Wetico, no Challenger virtual team would take him. In fact, he had to drop doubly down through the divisions. Journeyman Virtual East, his final resting place. His teammate, Not That Guy, suffered a similar fate, and he's now retired altogether. But Girouni showed tenacity, showed resilience through the face of adversity. He managed to get in touch. He managed to pull his connections and he managed to sign for one of the most prestigious teams, the two-time world champions of Ultimate Virtual. This man, never having won a race for them, not having won for many seasons, here on the streets of the Principality, it's redemption day for Jiruni, who wins the Monaco Grand Prix for BFX. Caddo will come home. It could have been more for him, but he will take that second place finish on the podium for the Velocity team. That will really bolster their campaign. He held off Jake in the end, who takes his first podium for the Superfast Racing team, the first driver other than Antti or Vlad to ever take a podium for the Superfast Racing team. Rito comes home in fourth for only 2 tokens. Really not a bad result for him, and it's 5th place for Corvid and the Lead Poor Racing team. 6th was Suicides in the end with his 4 tokens spent. Grandy from pole down to 7th. Todd Sod, as he makes his way through this final sector, will be looking to take 8th position. Kraft will finish in 9th. He's a good few seconds clear of Abva. A poor day at the office for the team in red. The Canadians only a P10 today. Quite generally, a poor day for the Canadians. Jiruni won after 27 minutes and 41 seconds of racing. Thank God we made it 10 laps shorter. With the fastest lap as well, and that seems to be quite a common theme so far this season. A winning margin by over 10 seconds. Rare to see in Ultimate Virtual, but he's managed it here today. Caddo 2nd for Team Velocity. Jake Brad 3rd for Superfast Racing. Then it was Rito, Corvid, Suicide, Grandy, Todsod, Kraft, and Abva. Bottom half of the grid. Anti performed relatively well with no tokens, as did Somehow I Made It, but 27 seconds behind his former teammate. Juan in 30th for Eddie Sport Virtual, ahead of Pit Crew. Then it was Caddo, who made his way up from the back of the grid to 15th. Pappy in 16th, Shiloh 17th, and Priya, Goose, Fox. That is all for today. We will be back next week. Of course, last season we had Innsbruck Ring as the 4th round of the season. Typically we have Valencia as the 5th round. That's been moved forward around, so that will be round 4 next week. But for the time being, thanks for watching, and goodbye.